What's the Friday? And we've dug. We've got the latest and the facts about the biggest story in the country right now, Saleng. And I've got the two people with the inside track on that. Of course, Cheezboy Mokoena, former teammate of Saleng's, former mentor, former roommate. We call it a roomie, right, Cheezy? Former roomie of Saleng. So a mentor to Saleng, a big brother to Saleng. And of course, we've got the master of finding information. You can't hide anything from this man, Peter Dutoy. Hit us up on social media, guys.
My children hide everything from me, so I'm not that good at it. We've all got that.
Guys, you know what we've done before. We've done the story before with Cheese. If you haven't seen that story, that's the backstory of what's going on. Hit the link below to get the backstory before you watch this one, or watch this one and go back to that one to get the full story. But Mhlekazi, Peter Dutoy, what have you got for us?
Like everybody, we've been desperate to find out the truth and the facts behind the Saleng matter. As Umjaka, I call him Cheezboy, said, Cheese did probably the best analysis of this story a couple of weeks ago, maybe 6-7 weeks ago. Great response. Over 100,000 people watched that show. Watch it because it's great context. So these are the facts about the Saleng story. This is the truth. Let's go back to the facts of the matter, which is, number one, he's under contract to Pirates. And under contract means he needs to fulfill his contract, and Pirates carry all the aces. That's just a fact. But what happened was, yes, it's true, an Arab club did come in with an offer. We can tell you right now that Arab club is factually none other than Al Ahly. Obviously, it's an Egyptian club, the biggest club in Africa. With no disrespect to Chiefs and Pirates and Sundowns, if you look at the trophy, it's the biggest club in Africa. So we can reveal it right now. Fact, Al Ahly made an offer to Orlando Pirates and contacted Orlando Pirates for the player. They didn't go direct to the player. Nothing went behind the player's back. Al Ahly went to Orlando Pirates and made an offer for Saleng and to Saleng. Saleng obviously saw that offer and obviously was happy with the terms. Pirates did not turn down the offer, as has been bandied about. They did not turn down the offer. In actual fact, I can confirm that Orlando Pirates actually went so far as to organize the visa for Saleng to go to Egypt. So negotiations were going smoothly. Saleng was obviously very excited, going to play in one of the biggest clubs in the world from a support base, but certainly the biggest club in Africa, obviously getting more money and enhancing his career, etc. Pirates would have probably happy with it as well because they've got good youngsters coming through. They probably would have been happy with the transfer fee, and they've got a good working relationship with Al Ahly. Now, what went wrong? Because something obviously went wrong. Was it negotiations part with Saleng, agent and club? No. Was it, as people seem to think, a negotiation problem between Pirates and Al Ahly? No. A very simple thing went wrong. Unknown to Pirates and Saleng, there's always a third party, and the third party being Percy Tau. Al Ahly, without telling Chiefs, Pirates and Saleng, were in the process of trying to sell Tau, and Saleng was to replace Tau. That deal didn't happen at that particular time. We know later Tau went to Qatar. So when they couldn't sell Tau, they basically slowly moved away from that deal. These things happen in football. Those are the facts. There's no mystery. These things happen. Clubs negotiate, and for whatever reason, it wasn't the price issue. It was they didn't replace Tau. They didn't sell Tau, so they didn't need a replacement for Tau at that particular time. The interesting thing, though, let's take there's more to come, but the interesting thing here is, let's fast forward. If Saleng was still training and still playing, Tau's sold, they probably would have come in for him now. He would be going now. Exactly what Chi said in the previous show about this. So the joke is, if he'd continued playing, there's a good chance they've gone, well, okay, we've now sold Tau, we can come in for you again. But to finalize on that matter, the club did not turn down the offer. The club did not go into negotiations on money, etc., etc. It was going positively. Luckily, is the club that pulled out of the deal because they couldn't sell Percy Tau. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing, and I'm going to quote from here, and I would normally not do this, but I'm quoting from a message I received because it's important that South Africa hears this quote, and it's important that Saleng hears this quote, because I can tell you now, this is almost unheard of. Let's look at the situation. Pirates, their player who's under contract to them has just not pitched to training. Most clubs would slap on a fine, put him on the transfer list, and expose him. This is the message to me, and forgive me to the person who sent me this message that I'm making a certain part of it public, but I'm doing it, I believe, in the best interests of everybody here. And what it says, this is to me, to be honest, we love the boy, and we still see him as a valuable member of this team. But I am confident that he'll come around because deep down, he's a very good boy. I've left out a couple of the other things that have been said because he refers to people who are advising the player, which I'm going to leave out. But let's just look at this, guys. This is a massive club showing their human side. It's important for the fans out there, for fans all over the country. They're showing their human side. This is a private conversation, and I apologize to the person who sent this to me, but I did feel it's important that Saleng and the public knows that the club, they also lost out on a transfer fee, just like Saleng lost out on his income. These things happen in negotiations. This is life. You try and sell your house. You think you sold it. You think you made a lot of money. The guy at the last minute sees another house and pulls out, or can't afford it because he didn't sell his house. These things happen. Saleng needs to understand that his advisors need to explain this to him. There's a twist, though, that I'll come to at the very end. So it's incredible. I luckily pulled the no-show after they struggled to get rid of Tau. To be honest, we love the boy, and we still see him as a valuable member of this team. We're confident that he'll come around because deep down, he's a very good boy. Saleng, this is like a father talking. This is like family talking. I would heed that message. My heart goes out to you, Saleng, and to the club because this is not a necessary situation. Now, geez, you've been in these situations. What does an agent do here? By advising the player not to come, if that's what the agent has done, or by Saleng making the decision not to come training, what's happened here? He's lost out a potential move right now because Tau is gone. And I luckily looked at him and gone, okay, he's played X amount of games, scored X amount of goals, let's get him. Another point that no one knows about. I think Pirates played Amazulu on the 25th of October. Somewhere around there. What happened? We can tell you with absolute fact. Saleng came training that morning. The club asked him to come training. They said, you'll be in the squad for the Amazulu game. He came training in the morning, but he didn't pitch for the afternoon. Now, who's advising on that? So in this instance, there's no discussion. The club are 100% within their rights to have said no to a deal, but they didn't say no to a deal. They actually tried to organize his visa for him to go. The club would be 100% in their rights to say, Saleng, you've let us down. You're out of order, we're fining you, or you put on a transfer list, you're a bad boy, we're going to make an example out of you. They haven't done that. They've let him, they've given him time and space. And this is an internal message to me, a private message, which I've made public. That shows the attitude. And I take my hats off. I'm going to say two other things about Orlando Pirates before you take us on a break, Cheezboy, and then we can discuss it. One, I can tell you now, in my 25, 28 years, 30 years, I can't remember being involved in soccer media, the fairest club, the club that treated Soccer Laduma and SoccerBeat the most fair, not doing us favors, just treating us fairly. And that's all you ask for in life, someone treats you fairly, was Orlando Pirates. The second thing I want to say, all the agents I deal with, and I deal with all the agents, they all say, a pleasure to deal with Pirates. Not because Pirates pay you more, because they're straight. So my message to Saleng, I'm a Madala. I've been around the block. I don't ask favors of Pirates or any club out here. My duty is to the fans. Our duty at SoccerBeat is to the fans. What we brought you, we worked hard to get you the story of the truth. You've got the truth. I would like, before we take this break, everybody, go on the comment section. Let's get hundreds of thousands of people sending a message to Saleng and saying, Saleng, please come to your senses. Please come training. The club wants you back. We want you back. And see, before we take a break, Cheese, think about this. When is a player at his happiest? When he's on the pitch training and playing. We'll talk about that afterwards. Cheezboy, you happy? Sure. Can we take a break?
Oh, yeah. And you know what, Pete? You referred to things that Cheese talked about. He said Pirates would never stand in a player's way. It's unlike Pirates to be like this. You know? Pirates start acting up or acting strange when you start acting strange. So it speaks to exactly what you're saying. So I'm really excited to hear from Cheese what he thinks of this situation. And you've given him food for thought. I'm going to allow him to have a coffee or milk or water and come back and share with us what his thoughts are. Let's go to an ad break and pay some bills.
Golden liquid pouring, gold splashing, gold swirling, waves of gold foaming, cut to reveal more gold. It's easy to make a beer that looks gold, but to make a beer that wins gold, that's a different story. Carling Black Label, Africa's most awarded beer.
What's up? Back with SoccerBeat. Of course, we're talking the biggest story, the one we brought you exclusively right here on SoccerBeat, the latest and the facts about Monnapule Saleng. Peter broke it down for you guys in the first segment. You've got the full context. You watched the show where Cheese spoke directly about his relationship with Saleng and what he sees about this situation. Chizana, now that you know what you know, what's your thoughts on it?
First time I'm hearing this, Caesar and Peter. First time I'm hearing this, but I must say, big up to Orlando Pirates for eventually coming out, but I must actually give them credit for actually protecting the boy, because I think most of the time a lot of clubs would have just thrown him under the bus and be like, okay, he's ill-disciplined, he's not coming to training and stuff. But to show that they have so much love and respect for him, they've gone all the way to try and protect his image and protect him as their own player. And they're even saying it out in public, like, you know what, we love the boy. We'd love to keep the boy here, And as for the fans, they've been patiently waiting for the story and trying to find out what's happening. I've also been trying to call the boy and trying to find out what's happening. But hearing what Peter said, I think the contractual issue here is because things did not go according to Al Ahly as the way they planned to sell Percy and that get him on board. But maybe the fact that he got the news earlier, because sometimes this affects players. If you start hearing rumors about you moving to a certain club with a certain fee, that could destabilize you, And I think it's the situation that he's caught up in. And my advice to him was just go to training, because there are still going to be more opportunities. Like you said, Peter, look now, they eventually are able to sell Tau. Now when they look back, they're like, this guy is not training. This guy is not playing. So is he going to do the same thing if he gets to our club? We don't need such, So it actually dampens his image as well, according to Al Ahly as well, and also with Pirates as well. They've been really patient, and I'm glad that they did that, because the boy is something awesome, man. He's very humble, like the private message that you received, Peter. That's just the facts. That's the truth. A very young, humble young man, who's got a lot of potential. And looking at his age, I still feel like if the team is going to extend his contract, yes, he'll still have an opportunity to go to whichever club that wants Saleng, as long as the figures are right, as long as they both agree. But the most important thing that I'll always maintain and say to him, boy, go to training. Even if they make you train with the MDC, go train, keep your fitness levels up, keep it up there in terms of the level of the players that are currently playing, because with you sitting back home, you only just killing yourself, So go back to training, train, the team will give an opportunity to play. And once you play, do your thing. I think that's where he'll have the answers for everyone, because I'm glad he had SoccerBeat. We let it out, we let you know, and we're not hiding stuff away from you. We're just showing our love to you, because you currently a good player for London Pirates, and you can see the team really does need you, So yeah, big ups to Pirates and the fans for understanding, because with Pirates fans, they hardly understand, But this time around, to show that they've got the love for the boy, they've been waiting patiently, and they are still saying, yes, we would love to see you leave, but if it's not happening, please get back onto the field. The other issues, we'll sort them out later.
Hey, cheese. And I remember, I mean, the joy of football, of playing football. Even as a kid, your mom has to stop you from leaving the house because you want to rush out and play football. And I don't know how that switches when you become an adult. You don't want to go to training now. You don't want to go play matches because you have a problem with management. I don't know what happens, how it switches from the love that you have as a kid, where your parents have to hold you and say, hey, 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 you must wash first. You must do the dishes first because you want to rush out. All of a sudden,
It's
you want to chill at
comparison.
home and not go
It's
to training.
comparisons, and that's the problem with some footballers, because you look at another footballer like, yeah, but so and so left to another club and is earning so much. Why can't I leave? But you don't know the stumbling blocks that are happening behind the scenes, you know. And Pirates has said it clear, and I'm sure they must have told his agent that, look, we want to let the boy go, but now these guys, on the other hand, are waiting to release a certain player before they can come on board and take the player. We're not saying no, he shouldn't go, but we're saying he's under contract with us. Why doesn't he come to training? Why doesn't he come and help the team play in the league? Because the more you play, the more influence looms. And it might have happened that maybe while he was still playing, Al Ahly would have just dug down into their budget and said, okay, yes, we can't sell Percy, but okay, we can also bring Saleng. Let's bring Saleng on board because we really need the player because he's doing really well. But now, no action, no pay, no options, my man.
Hey, and I know Al Ahly have got some investors who can bring out that money to
You
get
know the
Saleh
story.
if he had continued at the level he did. Let's go to an ad break. Peter, I need you to give the viewers more food for thought now. What are they supposed to feel from this conversation?
After that break, I'll give you a twist in the tail.
Ladies and gentlemen, George hopes he's cooked up the perfect multi-bet. But even if his bets start missing, George keeps smiling. You see, even with multiple misses, George knows he can still win big. A revolution, a revelation, a roaring masterpiece of betting brilliance. Imagine that, multiple misses on his bet slip and George is still a big winner with the world's first bet saver from Betway.
Hoza. Yeah, we're breaking down the biggest story in the country, the latest, and the facts about Monnapule Saleng. Big story in the country. SoccerBeat's got the inside edge. I've got a Madala here who knows everything that is to know. You can't hide anything from this man. He will find out. and of course, Cheezboy Mokoena, a mentor and a former teammate of Saleng. Peter,
2 points.
what's the twist? Yeah, what's the twist?
2 points to close. One, look at life. One man's loss is another man's gain. Saleng's lost out on the Al Ahly deal. Mofokeng could be going to Al Ahly. One man's loss is another man's gain. I'm not saying he's going to Al Ahly, but that's life. How is Saleng going to feel if he sees Mofokeng on that plane, earning the big bucks, wearing Al Ahly's colours, and then later on playing in a top club in Europe where Mofokeng deserves to play because Mofokeng is outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. One man's loss is another man's gain. Never forget that in life. Don't take your loss. Make it yourself your gain. That's the first thing. The second thing, last point, and before we close, is that we don't know the contractual details here. Yes, we've heard that Pirates have extended an option and so on and so forth. But what happens in contracts? Sometimes an agent doesn't read the contract properly, purposely, or by error, because they're legal documents. You need to take them to lawyers. Or Saleng has not read the contract properly. The bottom line is, an agent's responsibility is to explain his client, the player's circumstances fully. And one thing an agent should be advising the player is always honor your contracts. That's life. You honor your word. And that's the only thing I want to close on. Agents, if the player is not accepting what the agent's advice, the agent should then go to the club and say, I have told him. He's not listening to me. I'm walking away. But everybody's got a different way of looking at life. Thanks, guys.
The agent, Peter, before you close, the agent must go to his house, open the door, put him in his car, take him to training.
I think you and Vuyumere.
Exactly.
We got him and the agent in the back seat.
Peter, you summed it up perfectly. Cheezboy's got experience of throwing someone in the boot. So he can use his experience of being thrown in the boot. He must say, Vuyomere, go fetch Saleng.
I'm out of here.
SoccerBeat, what?